Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, today you're going to be taken on a journey, and we're going to talk about that journey in a little more detail as we get into the show. But I want to share with you my experience first. I was just at a festival where Christabel was leading a live event. There was 100 people all laying in this gazebo type of room, a tamba, um, laying down and going through this activation that Christabel has been guiding people through for, has it been almost a decade? How many years is it? I don't remember now.
Almost 12 years. Yeah.
Almost 12 years. Wow. It's when I started the show about 12 years ago. Wow. Um, but anyway, so I'm laying there as a participant and going through this beautiful process that Christabel is guiding us through. And I'm listening to the music. I'm immersed in my breath. I'm feeling myself. And within 15 minutes, I'm taken on this journey. It's like something expands in me. I feel my body lifting and my consciousness shifting from thought patterns or from doing or for even presence in the way that I typically experience it into being guided to another place. And I start feeling this activation running through my body, like my cells are lighting up with light codes. And by the end of the journey, in the last 10 to 15 minutes of it, I am just in pure bliss. And I've had these experiences in deep plant medicine ceremonies. I've had them a couple of times in activations of deep, deep meditation where I just hit the zone. But the facilitation that Christabel took me into, where I was just with the divine, I was with God. I haven't felt that as guided by somebody else and her capacity, Christabel's capacity to guide through this particular process, the way that she can hold the feel for that bliss activation. It's absolutely profound. And she's been on the show 4 times in the last year, and rightfully so, because I'm so excited to be able to offer awareness and a direct experience into these practices and this consciousness that's available to us if we only become educated on how to use this that's alive in us to access bliss, to access the divine. So I'm excited to share with y'all that you're going to experience a mini session today. It won't be the full hour breath of bliss activation experience, but it will be enough of one where you're going to experience a shift and an altering in what's possible. And it's a lot easier than you might anticipate. And Christabel is just so beautifully qualified to guide all of us through that experience and in this experience today, and in the way that she not only facilitates for other people, but also facilitates trainings for people who are interested in sharing this technology wherever they are in the world, however it inspires them to connect to spirit, to God, to divinity, and to themselves. So it's going to be a phenomenal call today. I invite you all to sit somewhere comfortable if you can. If you're driving, come back and listen to the replay, but listen to the call as well, because there's a lot of information that we're going to share here that's also part of the activation. And if you are at home and you can find a comfortable place to be, you're going to want to be laying down later on the call. If you have an eye mask, headphones to tune in, there's going to be a music component that acts as a guide for this particular journey as well. And I know Christabel is going to give us some other directives on how we can best drop in and fully take in the experience that we'll head into together. And Christabel, with that, welcome back to Beyond the Ordinary.
So excited to be back here, John, with you and your incredible community. Hello, everybody.
Mm.
Great to be with you.
I want to drop in and get into the story of how you got so excited to start activating this within yourself and guide other people again in ceremony, but then also guide other people in leading ceremonies as well, because my awareness from our conversations and how we've been in ceremonies together is that you too, once you had that God experience, you couldn't help but want to go back.
Yes, I never planned on becoming a breathwork facilitator, much less creating a whole modality and mystery school. I was on a different trajectory in my life, and I was immersed in a light body activation training. And that's when my facilitator sort of sprung on us a breath experience. It was my first time. And I had no preconceived notions of what to expect, but the deeper I breathed, the more emotions, the more layers started to peel away. I was so armored. My heart was so armored at that time, as I've shared before. At that time, I was married and in a relationship that was no longer aligned, but I couldn't be honest with myself about it. I couldn't face the discomfort of rearranging my whole life and following my intuition. So I was staying, and it was hard, and it was really uncomfortable. And so all of that suppressed discomfort and sadness and betrayal and all those feelings of just loathing myself for staying, and it just started all coming to the surface. And the deeper I breathed with this open mouth connected practice, the more I just, it was like the tidal wave of tears came through me that I didn't even know needed to be cried. And the more I released, the more I moved, I started kind of going through a threshold, like through a gateway into this space that made this transition in perspective from me to something so much bigger looking at me.
Mm.
And I just saw my little Christabel suffering so much. And I I saw the pain, the needless pain, and the thoughts that were untrue that I was thinking, and just everything about my little self that was trapped in this perception of reality. And I felt so much love for myself. I felt this kind of love for myself that I had never felt, actually. And it was so warm and unconditional and just all enveloping that I just kept crying more and more kept happening. And then just a lot of light coming in, a lot of angelic energy, and just feeling the love of God. And it was really a breakthrough awakening for me, and popping through the membrane of my little perception as a human, and just realizing, oh my God, there's so much more to me than I ever imagined. There's so much I haven't even lived or expressed or revealed or shared or experienced. And it just filled me with so much life force energy that I started making all these changes in my life. And I started being honest with myself about that relationship and making a transition out, following my dreams, moving to Bali, which I had dreamed of exotic tropical islands for a decade. I just started doing all the things. And then I started sharing this practice and creating Breath of Bliss. And that just flowed into a dream life of living on these islands and empowering mystics to come into their inner authority and to step into leadership themselves and be facilitators, and really taking ownership of myself in this new way as a true spiritual practitioner, and empowering others to do the same, and thriving, and actually doing really well financially from just following my heart and my intuition. So that was pretty cool.
What do you mean by spiritual practitioner?
So by spiritual practitioner, I mean somebody who has put their daily routine of awakening first. Right. And so we all have a set of priorities throughout the day. And so because I had redesigned my whole lifestyle to follow my bliss, basically, and I loved meditation, I loved prayer, these multidimensional psychedelic breathing practices, water fasting, visualization, all these things. I designed a life where these, what I call spiritual practices, were the backbone of my day. And then I started empowering facilitators not to lead breath work like work from a hyper masculine place or trying to resolve trauma, but rather as a vehicle to express their inner awakening journey in putting their spiritual practices first, the breakthroughs into oneness and love and unity and compassion and all the things.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
wonder how many of y'all are already spiritual practitioners, but just hadn't had the awareness to really claim that for yourselves. Or where even Christabel speaking about it now is calling forward a deeper intimacy into, again, claiming that which within you, that motivation, that desire to be that direct conduit for what's available to you and that expansion and love and light. Um, Breath of bliss. And what for me really separates your practice from other techniques that are available that are facilitated is that you really do hold a high frequency for what we're expanding into. And all the work that I've experienced is beautiful from different modalities that fall into the category. And some are about really healing past trauma or going into past lives, can be really cathartic about claiming something and holding it. And I think all those are fantastic and they're steps into a threshold that then we decide how we cross through it. But the way that you hold it, I really see you holding the invitation to actually step through that threshold into an expansionary state. So you hold a very high vibrational field in your particular practice that allows whatever needs to arise to be in the experience of that ecstasy, of the bliss that you're talking about.
Mm. Yeah, well, I can only share what I've authentically experienced myself, and
Mhm.
my journey has involved transmuting so much density and distortion and misperception of reality, being hoodwinked by the thoughts of my surface mind, so much chronic self-doubt, self-sabotage, all the things on the shame and blame, all at the lower end of the frequency scale of consciousness. And um yeah, just I was in such a state of victimhood for so long that, and experiencing how prayer and breath work combined with the power of prayer and setting a crystalline grid work of intention and purifying the consciousness through like I am decrees and meditations and all of these things actually for me raised the vibratory feeling tone of what I was able to touch into through the breath practice. And I think that when we as practitioners make a decision to step into authorship of our experience by naming the frequency tone we want to experience and actually moving towards that as a destination, loving and blessing everywhere we've been, up until now, but just deliberately choosing I am dedicated to the highest expression of light and love in this moment and show me how. And when you start a breath practice with that kind of intention, miracles happen. I feel like there's such a responsive, unified field of consciousness here that is just which some may call angels, some may call source, God, ascended masters, councils of light. We're just surrounded by so much support that if we simply ask and invite the assistance, miracles really happen. So,
Can you share some of the experience that you witness people having as they're going through ceremony with you? Because it's not always reaching God.
no, 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 no. Let's not exaggerate. People have all kinds of experiences in a breath journey, although I will say the importance of the consciousness of a facilitator cannot be understated. This is why when we train facilitators in breath of bliss, I actually call them ministers of consciousness because they're administering a frequency tone of possibility that entrains the actual collective nervous system of a space to the possibility of an elevation. And so, I want to share. Can I share a little story before I tell you about the things I've seen?
Absolutely, yes.
So I was facilitating at the International Breathwork Annual Conference one year, and they did a very fascinating thing. They decided to have every single breathwork school represented simultaneously lead a journey to, at the same time, in the same room with the same music playing, but just the facilitators were in their own little zone of this giant, giant room, and to see what happened because they each were leading in such different ways. And there was somebody involved in my program who just decided they wanted to not participate in mine, but walk around and see what's going on in each group. And so
Mm.
when they went around to the people who were trauma resolution oriented, everyone was cathartically yelling and screaming and wailing and gnashing of teeth and just the whole thing. And then around to another area where it was like peak performance and very hyper masculine, and there was just like fists and grunting and anger and yelling and it was so predictable every place they went. And then they came back around to ours, and people were giggling and laughing and moaning and just reaching their arms up and just weeping while smiling. I mean, it was just amazing
Mm.
to witness the power of imprinting we have as facilitators. We can so deeply imprint those we're serving. So I feel it's such a responsibility when we facilitate to elevate the vibrational hygiene so that we're doing a service, a true service.
Right.
Thanks for indulging me in that story.
I love that story. Yes.
I do too. With that said, I'll just say that you asked me what are the different things I've seen. I've definitely seen all kinds of experiences. Not everybody is having a glorified revelation of God consciousness. Some people are really releasing extremely dense material that they may have been holding for some time. It's a cumulative effect when you live decades and perhaps have never fully allowed yourself to feel feelings all the way through or been in a safe space that welcomes that, right? And so there's always space and room and welcoming for people who are moving those bigger, heavier things. I've also seen people communicating with relatives who have crossed over, people who had come back and say they were speaking to their angels or their other dimensional selves from other planets and lifetimes. Um, it really sky's the limit. I mean, people talk all the times about medicine animals or dragons or all kinds of magical beings they commune with. And I really think we each have the perfect experience for where we are and what we need at the moment, truly. So, yeah.
It also reminds me, well, before I get into that, some of y'all who showed up a little bit after we started the call, Christabel's going to guide us through an actual ceremony. It'll probably be about 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes. But it'd be wonderful if you can prepare yourself to lay down, to be comfortable, maybe grab some headphones. It's going to be an amazing journey and such a gift to be able to have this experience live on this call today. So that's coming through. And as you were speaking about the different experiences, Christabel, I was thinking I've been dreaming a lot lately. There's been some high vibrational dreams, a lot of things that are unpacking from just things that are coming to resolution and expanding into new consciousness. And some denser dreams where I was like really struggling of letting go or confusion and all that. And the different experiences that people were having in different containers that from that particular experience that you spoke about at that conference, it reminds me that sometimes when I have really heavy dreams and I come out of it, I still feel a sense of relief, like something was moving through and there was an expansion, even if I was a little confused. Then consciousness, like something is disentangling and revealing. But whenever I have those dreams where I'm dolphins or where I'm dolphin, oh my God, where I'm flying and there's dolphins and whales and I'm in that state of bliss, the empowerment that comes through, the lifting of everything that may have been lower vibrational to meet me at that stage happens so effortlessly. And it's like I'm walking an inch above the ground during my day when I experience that. And And the consciousness that gets created through these experiences and the ceremonies that you so expertly guide people through, I think are very much in accordance with how we can experience dreams, altered states of consciousness, and accessing layers within ourselves that are ready to have conversation and share their wisdom with us because we're evolving beyond of what we were holding before.
Mm, absolutely, John. And I love your normalization of the density, like the
Mm.
times where we do have more shadow realm, reveals in our journeys or experiences, because bliss is not a nonstop state of perpetual happiness. In my experience, bliss is just releasing resistance to life happening through and as us. And when we can simply allow everything to be as it is and surrender the mind's judgment about how we think it should be, suddenly there's pleasure even in, I call it the joy pain, because even pain, when it arises and the joy, it's like it opens the same threshold of aliveness when we let go of the labels of it. And so, yeah, I feel it's so important to welcome everything that reveals itself as a holy messenger.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I know that you receive correspondence from people all the time about how their lives have changed, how things have shifted, how they've let something go, how like a new path gets illuminated for them that where they were stuck before.
absolutely. I mean, people's lives completely change with this practice. And I think it's even beyond just the external descriptions, it's the internal shifts that I love hearing about the most. People who say, I could never forgive myself for this thing, or I could never forgive that person. And suddenly in, 20 minutes, I had that breakthrough that if years I've been carrying this over resentment or, a judgment. It's those inner those inner rifts between our ego and then the truth of who we are, when we can just melt into the love, it's such a relief. And that's
Mm.
the just
Yeah.
opening to love.
That's so beautiful. You know, these are one of those practices that are just, they're so inspirational because once you have an experience, you want to share it with everybody because it's like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. My experiences with being so passionate about something that was so obviously beneficial for me, that shifted something. One was going deep into my spiritual journey. I had to start beyond the ordinary. I had to share this communication, our languaging, these tools that I was learning about with as many people as I could. And that spiritual awakening, the dam breaking open, as I refer to on a continuous basis, it's just, I couldn't help it. When I started practicing Bikram yoga and my body was changing, my consciousness, the way that I would breathe into that, it was such a significant shift. And again, it's a big breathing practice in that particular yoga um, modality. And it's just, and I know that so many people are so enamored with that particular modality. It's like, and it affects them so deeply that they then want to go out and teach it to as many people as they can. They want to open up their own studio. They want to change other people's lives. Plant medicine, a psilocybin journey, an ayahuasca journey, and people have godlike, profound experiences, shifts, habits that are released, addictions that are no longer running their lives. And they're like, oh my God, everybody has to do this. And I know that you created the facilitator training because that was occurring for you also. It's like, I had this profound experience. How can I share this with other people? And there's one story that you shared that I was like, oh my God, I'd love to do that. Where there was this man, I think it was in Australia, and he was going through all these practices and he became a facilitator and he wanted to share it with as many people as possible. And then he was showing up to sacred sites and
Mhm.
doing free breathwork circles and like dozens or maybe even hundreds. I don't know. People were just showing up. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So this was a really special man in Australia. I was facilitating at a festival, and he actually was a paramilitary, ex-paramilitary professional, I guess you'd say, who suffered extreme PTSD. And when he came into the experience, he, for the first time, had a shift in his consciousness where he was able to have a breakthrough and move beyond a cycle of painful storytelling and reliving of what he experienced. And he was so moved. He came to the training, trained up an amazing facilitator, very metaphysical. And then he just started listening to spirit, because so much of the training is about opening as that spiritual practitioner, opening your imagination and your channel to receive guidance from beyond your rational mind. He just got guidance to get on a plane without anything and go to England. And he rented a bicycle, and he had just a backpack, a bicycle, and some food he bought at the airport on the way out. And he started going from crop circle to crop circle and just sleeping on the side of the road. And he had a rechargeable speaker and his phone. And he started facilitating breath of bliss. And just by word of mouth, people would start talking about, this guy is coming to the next circle. And they would start following him from circle to circle.
Mm,
Yeah, really, really amazing.
amazing. And again, someone that was so changed, so profoundly changed that it's just like, I've got to share this with other people. And that calling happens when we're
Yeah.
so beautifully affected. It's like, how else can we share from our cup that's filling over, that it's spilling over so much that we have to gift it to whoever is open to receive it. So I think that's so beautiful. Um,
Mm.
Y'all, I want to get into preparing for the facilitation that's going to happen, the ceremony we're going to drop into. Before we do that, I want to make sure that we give ample time to the special offer, because Christabel is offering an opportunity to drop into full moons and new moons for 7 cycles into breathing ceremonies, and it's significantly reduced for us on the ordinary show. The last cycle of moon ceremonies, I was intimately involved in. I showed up to everyone that where I started from, which I think started in February. And it was profound for me. Every single call that I was on, something beautiful was shifting and awakening. And I would walk out of the ceremony just feeling like so much had beautifully shifted. Not only that was ready to move, but that was ready to meet me in a new place of my own awareness and intimacy within myself. So it's an extraordinary special offer. And there's an opportunity to book a live call with Christabel as well. If anybody's interested in facilitator training, you're going to want to listen about this and perhaps book a call with Christabel soon as well. Um, the link for the special offer is right underneath the box where you're watching this call on the website. Click on the special offer button. If you're watching on the replay, it should be right underneath the video box there as well. And if for any reason you can't find it, just open up a new browser page and go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Christabel36, and it'll take you to that same special offer page. And Christabel, please share with everybody what they're going to receive when they dive in with you and us in this breathing journey.
Well, there's something so beautiful about being a part of a global community that is meeting on the regular during the new and full moons. I've experienced such a feeling of connection, first of all, and just something to look forward to, right? And something to mark the progression of my life by in really paying attention to the natural astrological energies happening at particular new moons and full moons. And so there's going to be 7 ceremonies, and each one will be aligned to the unique astrology of the day. And the theme will be related to that, particularly. Even our very first one coming on June 11th is a Sagittarius full moon. And that's all about opening to magic and adventure and all the mystical plot twists that may want to reveal themselves in your life, and so much more. And so whenever we have a theme, I constellate all of the music around it. The 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 blueprint of the breath adventure is informed by it. We have ecstatic dance, and we have heart share practices, and a Dharma teaching, and opportunities to really clarify intentions, and to really take a stand in our lives to set a dedicated time for self-care, and to use that as an excuse to maybe even turn the whole day into a retreat for yourself, and to have a sacred bath afterwards, and do your journaling and sacred tea and all of the things. So, my wish for everybody who joins us is that you receive the true power of a vibrational updraft, because we become like the top three people we spend time with. And so many of us may not discern quite so clearly. I myself used to just, follow who showed up in the space with me and where I ended up. But the days I started actually deliberately architecting my life to place myself among others with really high standards and speaking in a refined way about the highest possibilities for what was available at the moment for me, for others, for humanity. I experienced the quantum leap in my life. So I'm hoping that these 7 ceremonies will be a quantum leap for everyone coming in.
Hmm. And the ceremonies are how long each one?
They're about 2 hours each one, and it's just a really ecstatic liberation experience where you can get into your body. You can really get in touch with your emotions. If you're anything like me, I sometimes experience numbness from my emotions, so it's really a safe space to drop in. And if you've been really busy, you've been on go, and you have maybe you're in a and taking care of a family, you haven't had enough you time. It is a sacred bubble. It is a sacred
Um,
temple space where you can really be honest and you can really feel like what's really going on for me right now, and what's the truth of what's being invited from me at this point in my life beyond just the routines we're in or the day to day. It's a time to reset to the reality of your soul having a human experience through your human. And so you can keep being reminded of that twice a month in a community of people who are dedicated to waking up beyond that matrix mentality that, keeps a lot of us asleep.
it keeps a lot of us just really busy and tired and distracted. And I'm so glad that you mentioned for those of us just constantly doing and busy, because in each of my ceremonies, it's like a retreat. And every time I've gone in to give myself the time and to devote to the practice, and the devotion is really to myself, giving myself the time to get to know the intelligence that wants to run through me. It's even deeper than just being in meditation and stillness, because I'm activating a part of my physicality that is coming online and meeting my consciousness in unity and expanding an awareness that is available for me that meditation alone just doesn't touch. So to incorporate this as a spiritual practitioner into my life has been so valuable for me. And again, I just want to shout from the rooftops. What a wonderful experience that has unfolded for me as enlightened truths become more available. So y'all, there's 7 ceremonies beginning June 11th. So there's Sagittarius full moon, ceremony 2 June 25th, Cancer new moon, ceremony 3 July 10th, Capricorn full moon, ceremony 4 July 24th, Leo full moon, ceremony 5 August 9th, Saturday, Aquarius full moon, and August 22nd, Friday, Virgo new moon, and you're going to go all the way into September with the Pisces full moon. Christabel, what time are these calls typically taking place?
They're all happening from 12 to 2 Pacific time. 12 to
Fantastic.
2. And there's replays if that doesn't work for some reason.
So replays are available and they're just as powerful, and to activating that is excellent. Y'all, the price for this is $222. That winds up being about $31 per ceremony. And if you miss one, it doesn't mean that you falter on the other ones. It's not like a progressive thing that you get to build upon. It's where you get to show up. But I found that I was consistently wanting to show up and not miss it because I knew the benefits. Even if my mind said I was tired, I don't know if I want to breathe that day, but every time I dropped in, I think I may have had a little resistance once because I was so tired. But again, I was so enthusiastic to show up that it was just absolutely amazing. So there's the opportunity for these particular 7 ceremonies, but there's another opportunity also. And Christabel, talk a little bit about the 30 minutes that you're making available for someone who might be interested in exploring becoming a Breath of Bliss facilitator.
Yes, Breath of Bliss is an entire path. It's a path of personal empowerment and excellence and an opportunity to come into vibrational dignity. with the truth
Mm.
of who we are as divine creator beings here on Earth School, waking up to our true extraordinary potential to create heaven on earth and to create miracles. And unlike other so-called breath work schools, this is really, we use the breath as one of many metaphysical tools in our quiver to assist people in having breakthrough realizations into God consciousness, whatever you want to call it, source consciousness, divine presence. And truly it's an opportunity to put your spiritual practice first for 6 whole months with a group of other luminaries who are devoted to discovering how much they can receive the grace that is omnipresent at all times. How much can they truly open their hearts to the love that is here, the unity, the benevolence of source that is all enveloping at all times? How much can they wake up from the painful storylines of the surface mind and disconnect from rehashing the past and getting wrapped up in expectations and shoulds around the future and really drop into the I am presence as a personal practice, as a way to cultivate within ourselves the ability to hold exquisite group spaces of awakening. And so what I love about this school and what it continually invites for me and everyone involved is this dismantling of the false identities that I myself and many of us have become so attached to and hoodwinked by and convinced of. And so in this way, it's just so much letting go. It's like 6 months of letting go
Mm.
of all of the excuses we've had in our lives for who we wanted to be but haven't yet become, for everything we've been waiting to share and with the world and express and be seen in. It's letting go of just the inner critics, because you can imagine when you begin training to hold group spaces and you start practicing, it can bring the whole constellation of inner critics up, and all this the storylines of I'm not ready and who am I and what will people think. And so it's such a deep dive into the unconscious webs, the sticky webs of limiting beliefs that often hold us back from greatness and clearing the way. So and of course, you're prepared to lead these profound awakening experiences for others, these psychedelic breath experiences that you can monetize. And a lot of our students work towards recouping their investment while they're still in the training. It's a whole life path for some people who really are called to share it. But I find the core excitement is in the bliss of letting go of all that is untrue and just really touching in and tasting that oneness, that bliss. Yeah.
Mm. So what'll happen on the call with you and when if someone's really curious about becoming a facilitator? Y'all, this isn't a call for Christabel to help process something or anything else. It's an earnest phone call because you're intrigued or you're really interested or there's a calling because of your experience to
Mm.
go deeper. And again, I like to say to give from our overflowing cup. And for me, I know that things integrate for me more deeply whenever I teach, whenever I share that with other people.
Yeah. Well, so the bliss activation call is an opportunity for some personal exploration about if the program is really a match for where you are in your life. We talk about some of the past group facilitation you may or may not have done. A lot of people come in the training who have done no previous group facilitation. Some come in who are already ordained ministers and facilitating for a living. But it allows me to understand more about what you're bringing in, and whether the urge is more personal development, personal awakening, or monetizing and creating a new career path for yourself. Because as each person shares their intentions with me, I am actively adding constantly more material to the training to accommodate the needs and desires of the new initiates coming in. And so we'll be chatting about your big dream and, what is it that's calling you to share this work with others? And, what are your questions about walking this kind of path? And how can we, see ahead to the next cohort coming in and your place in that pod, the dolphin pod, and see, is it going to be a match? Is it going to be a frequency match to you and lift you to the next expression of who you were born to be? Because this training it's intended to help you become more authentically who you were born to be by the end. That's the true mark of success. You leave it more yourself than when you came, of course, with all the skills and excellence and all of that. But you just feel more yourself, and that's a gift.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And you teach not just the process and the different techniques and the way to somatically be attuned to other people as well. But there's marketing. You teach people how to really build the business and support. So everything that you've been through, you have the steps along the way to facilitate success for other people as well. So it's really a complete facilitation. And I typically don't offer these type of don't bring these type of offers on BTO. Uh, but this is just really special. So I wanted, I talked to Christabel about it, and I wanted to open up the opportunity for y'all to have a direct conversation with Christabel if this interests you. And of course, y'all, the special offer for $222, the 7 ceremonies get into your personal experience, have your own embodied awareness of what's possible. And we're going to get into that now, or in a couple of minutes on today's call as well. But again, we wanted to make this special offer available to you. I look forward to seeing y'all on the full moon and new moon activations ceremonies. And I'm excited for all of y'all who will participate in anything that Christabel is going to put together. Again, the link for the special offer is underneath the video where you're watching. There's a link in the chat box, and you can always access special offers also by going to beyondyourordinaryshow.com/marketplace, where you'll find all of the offerings for season 36 on BTO. Christabel, let's start preparing for our ceremony. What are some tips or some preparatory instructions that you have for anybody who may be participating?
Well, it's always nice if you happen to have an essential oil nearby to just give yourself a sweet little anointment to recognize yourself as that Christed I am presence that you are, and the self recognition of the frequency tone that you want to reveal and express during the journey. So you might have that. You might have I have a little sort of mist, a little activated mist. Just clear the field a little bit and clear the space. For everybody listening, it's very powerful to lie down for this practice. When you lie down, you relax your prefrontal cortex. So your rational brain will begin to quiet, the chatter will quiet, and you can go much, much deeper. So I invite you to clear a space. You may want to get something to cover your eyes with, a little cloth of some kind. You can get a crystal if you enjoy holding an activated piece that gives you a sense of alignment. And we're going to, I'll share the practice with you before we lie down, just so we can all be here, and seeing how it feels. So Breath of Bliss is actually a 2-hour ceremonial experience generally. We have a whole suite of decrees and prayers and intentions and heart openings and ecstatic dance. And then we usually lie down, but we're going to jump ahead and we're going to have a really a micro movement moment and then just a 20-minute lying down experience. And so during all of it, we're going to be breathing through an open mouth and breathing in and out through the open mouth, just like the waves of the ocean coming into shore, rolling in, and then gently rolling out back to the ocean. And I like to think of this infinity symbol as a beautiful way to invite in the luxurious mother wave. That's what we call the breath. And so I'm going to breathe a couple breaths, and I want to invite everyone watching to breathe with me and just to feel your body as you begin letting the breath go in and out of your mouth. You don't need to focus on lifting your heart first and then your belly or expanding anything, just equally expanding the lungs, all the way in the front and behind the sides of you, letting them fill with air and release. So here we go. Let me turn on that sound for you so you can hear my breath. I'm going to try that one more time so my sound's having an adventure. Here we go. And the key is connecting the inhale to the exhale without any pause. And so we want to let go of that pause, because when we connect the inhale to the exhale and the exhale to the inhale in a fluid way, we can start releasing dimethyltryptamine from the pineal pituitary, which can give us those glorious opportunities to touch into expanded states of consciousness. And so when we're breathing in this way with an open mouth, connecting the breath, I invite you to take full stewardship of your experience, because the faster you breathe, the bigger your experience is going to be. The slower and more gently you breathe, the more subtle your experience will be, and you get to choose. So even right now, as we're all orienting, I invite you to put in the chat box a number about how big you want to go today, knowing that the more you breathe and move and sound, you're going to be higher on the experience scale. All right. John's a 10. All right. So yes, claim it, claim what you want. And your body is the technology to create this for you. And so in addition to the speed and depth of your breath, increasing the size of your experience, the more you move your body while you breathe, and the more you make sound, if you want to make sound on the exhale, that will also amplify your experience. Lots of 10s in the house today. My goodness, lots of 9s and 10s. Okay, so I'm inviting you to have fun with that. And when we lie down, I also invite you to be aware that you're in such a safe space. It's like we're all here together in a giant virtual temple, and whatever arises is safe. And I know it's a Zoom room or a YouTube video, whatever you experience, you are surrounded by so much support. And we're connecting with you across space and time here. So you can trust that if there's tears that come, it's so good. It's so healing. And laughter, anger, joy, sadness, fear, all is welcome in this sacred space. So I invite you to put your hands on your heart just as we're beginning, and just say out loud, I give myself permission to feel it all.
I give myself permission to feel it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I give myself permission to feel it all. Take a breath and give yourself that gift, and know that part of the feeling, sometimes the feelings can get strong with tingling and vibrating in the hands, maybe a little cramping. It's super safe if you start feeling this tingling and sort of like little bits of muscle cramping in the hands or the jaw or the legs. It's called tetany. I actually feel it's exquisitely powerful amounts of light coming into the superhighway of our nervous system. And so if you're experiencing a cramping or any numbing, just know that it will go away by the end, and it's completely safe. And just envision this light coming into your body, saturating you, cleansing you, setting you free. So before we lie down, I haven't done this on any of the other appearances, so I thought this would be a fun time to now. Before we lie down, we're actually going to do just a little bit of movement together to open our bodies, to open the energetic pathways to open your meridians and open your breath so we can warm up your diaphragm and get you ready for the lie down experience. And so I'm going to put on a piece of music for you. It's only about 2 minutes. And the invitation is to open your mouth and begin practicing the open mouth circular breath. And this is inspired by Bliss. And as we're going into it, I want to remind you, especially for those of you who know the gene keys, on the frequency scale, it's impossible to feel bliss if you are chronically dissatisfied. So take a moment right now, think about your life. And is there anything that you're really dissatisfied with right now? And you think about it a lot. Maybe it's something going on in a relationship or your body or your career or where you're living or something like that. And I invite you to, while we're just loosening up our bodies and you're practicing the breath, to bring more vitality in. Have that as an intention. I'm going to bring more vitality in with my breath, because when we flood ourselves with vitality and clear that contagion of dissatisfaction, we can open up to feel bliss. So that will set a template for our mini journey. So here,
Christabel, before we start with the music,
yes.
and I'm going to mute myself in a second, and I'm going to turn my video off, so it's just going to be all you. But one thing that I want to address, that sometimes when I've gotten into my breathing journey, that there's a hesitancy. It's like, feels like I'm breathing, and then it's so different than when I'm used to doing on a daily basis, that my mind starts coming in. And what is it that you can share for others in this experience, that if that starts coming in, how they can really facilitate more of the circuitry continuing rather than being interrupted by a nervous system response or some type of fear that something's wrong?
Yeah. Well, I just want to affirm for everyone, everything is right. Everything is going to be right for the next 22 minutes or 24 minutes. And you can trust your body. Your body knows how to do this. You were born to do this. Your ancestors knew how to use ecstatic breath and sound. If you go further enough back in your lineage, this is a technology that is in your chromosomes. And so just trust what's happening. And if you notice you drift out of the breath into thought, I often just imagine that thoughts are like clouds that are passing in the sky. And I sort of mentally acknowledge thoughts. And then I let them go without pushing them away or trying to stop them. I just got thoughts. And then I come back to the breath and I keep breathing. Or if you notice the breath has stopped or become shallow, moving the body and making sound is a really powerful way to come back into the full experience.
Beautiful. All right. I'm handing controls over to you. Everybody have a wonderful journey, and I'll see you on the other side.
Amazing. Okay. So we are not quite lying down yet, everybody. We are sitting, or you can stand on up if you want to stand up. And I'm going to invite you, before I put on this little warm-up piece, to already begin opening your breath, opening your diaphragm, open your mouth. Connecting the inhale and the exhale. Without any pause. And I invite you to bring into your heart and your mind whatever that thing is that you might have been dissatisfied with up until now. And perhaps open to the intention to be more playful about it. And start moving your body. Maybe start moving your shoulders a little bit. Keep the breath going. Maybe moving your head to shake out any thoughts you've had about this thing that you wish was different than it is. Making a sound on the exhale. Shaking the hands. We're just clearing the field to prepare for our journey. Just seeing how you can lighten up. How can you lighten up before we lie down? Taking whatever's been on your shoulders off with your hands. Whew, doesn't it feel good? To take it all a little less seriously. Yeah, shaking out the fingers, whatever you've been grasping onto or holding onto, just shaking out those fingers. Open mouth. And just look around your space. Connected breath, and just know this is going to be such a fun experience together. It's going to be so safe. It's going to be so amazing for you. Set that intention. Shaking the spine. Wiggling your bottom. Make a sound. Almost there. We're almost done with our warm-up. Just see how it feels to create energy in the body. Lifting your feet. Bringing some circular movements in. And clear the space. We're going to lie down now, but before we do, clear the space with your hands like angel wings, creating a sacred space for your journey. That's it. So go ahead and lie down. Lie down and keep your mouth open. Cover your eyes. You might want to hold that crystal or totem as you begin deepening the breath even more. Opening up to something new, to discover something new. That's it. Deep breaths. How good can it be today for you? Wander into this. How good can it get in the next 20 minutes? The breath flowing in over your lips, past your teeth, over your tongue, down your throat, filling your lungs all the way. Let it go. Deeper breath, filling all the way up and letting it go. How much can you receive? How good can it get? Maybe you're even smiling while you breathe. Feeling your body awaken. That's it. Connecting the inhale and the exhale. The exhale and the inhale. That's it. All the way. Breathing to fill the space with light. Light on the inhale. Light on the exhale. Breathing to fill with light. Moving your body to hold more Breathing into your heart. So you can feel it all. All the way inside. What's inside you? Now. What's asking for love? Breathe there. Breathe into your heart. Deeper breath. Calling in all the legions of light who love you. That's it. Breathe to receive all the support that's here. Breathe to call in all the angels that are here. All the guidance, all the love, all the connection, all the care. That's it. All the tenderness. Deeper breaths now to flood this energy in through your mouth, into your lungs, through your whole body. Connecting. Inhale to exhale. Exhale to inhale. All the way. Warming the body. You can shake a little bit. You can rock your hips, rock your shoulders, your spine. Open your breath. Open your body to the goodness of being alive. Open your breath. Make a little sound on the exhale, enjoying the present moment. How good it is to be alive today. Opening your arms to receive the bounty. Breathing Breathe it in. The abundance. The fun. The miracles. The play. The connection. The love. The bliss. Open your body. Open the breath. Sit, rocking the spine, the hips, your bottom, making space to receive. Ow! Make a sound on the exhale. Sit, moving the energy with breath. Lightening it up. Lighten it up. Ooh, sounding. Clearing the way. As we pick up the pace of the breath a little more, if you had a higher number. That's it. Picking up the pace, moving your wrists, your elbows, your knees, your hands, your hips, clearing the energy pathways with breath. Letting go of anything you're ready to release. Let it go. Cleansing the space with your hands. Cleansing the cocoon of energy around you. The pristine light. Resurrecting your innocence in this membrane, this auric membrane of light. Snapping, moving, vibrating, shaking. Feel the innocence of your body. Open mouth, deep breath. Connecting inhale to exhale. Opening to the frequency of delight. Deepening breath as you expand your awareness beyond this body to something bigger. Connect the breath. Clear the space. Make a sound. Self-illuminating with the breath. Lighten it up. Lighten up the body. Lighten up your shoulders. Lighten up your hips. Lighten up your knees, your hands, your feet, your head, the hair on your head. Lighten up your mouth, your tongue, your teeth. Lighting up. How much can you enjoy letting go? How much can you enjoy letting it all go? Staying in the breath. Deep connected breath as we climb the mountain of consciousness together. Breath in and breath out, into your DNA, out, into the chromosomes, out. Cleansing and purifying the field of energy around you. That's it. Elevating your perspective beyond your personality up to your soul. What do you see? Breathe deeper now. Breathe higher now. Breathe beyond all the labels you have used to define yourself now. Further, higher, wider. Beyond it all. Beyond it all. What do you see from the mind of God? Breathe deeper now. Feel the air touching you. Your mouth, the air touches your mouth. Lifting your lungs, expanding them like wings. Awakening the angel inside you. That's it. Deeper breath to elevate your perspective now. Awaken your angel wings. Remember who you really are. Breathe into your heart. So you can really remember. You might even want to touch your heart. Wake it up. Remember your goodness exactly as you are. You are so good. You are so loved. Breathe in to receive it. Can you receive it? All this love that's all around you. Can you feel it? It's always here. It's just waiting for you to say yes. Say yes to love. Breathe it in and let it wrap you up in light. And slowly close your mouth now and begin breathing through your nose. As you relax, relax. Relax. Taking a few minutes to integrate your experience. Allowing the insights to come in.
Y'all take your time. Really honor the process. There's no rush. And I'd love it if y'all want to raise your hand if you have a comment, a question about your experience. If you want to type in your experience into the chat box, we'd love to experience your experience. Um,
Yeah, just taking some time to slowly come back into the space and open your eyes and receive all of this beauty around you, stretching your body, noticing some things in your environment so you can fully land, and perhaps having a sip of a beverage if you have something to drink, and knowing that if you're feeling sensation, it will slowly dissipate as you come back into the present moment. Just really taking a moment to land in a pearl or an insight, a revelation that you want to hold on to from today's mini journey. And as John invited you, if you're inspired to share in the chat box a pearl, when you anchor it in and you share, it's such a catalyst for others in the space to have a recognition. You have gone beyond the mind to the restoration of your innocence in an expanded state of consciousness. So you hopefully have caught some insights. So please share them with our collective if that would nourish you.
Beautiful. We have Tina coming in. Tina, if you want to unmute your microphone, please
Well,
share. What question might you have?
well, I've never done anything like that before, and wow. um, I wanted to when we came back and I was breathing, coming back in my body. I'd had my arms sort of to my side and my arms up, facing up, my palms facing upwards, and I felt this like heaviness just pushing away, like down, and then it just went away. Like as I put my hand, it just all went away. It's like something was pushing on me to be gone or something, and it just calmed and went away.
Mm.
I don't know. I've never had anything happen. But I had some like pain in my stomach and in my spine and all that too. Did you say something that's is normal for that to happen? I didn't hear everything because I was late on getting on the call.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a beautiful release, and a lot of
Yeah.
sounds like some tension has been unwinding in you, and perhaps some gravity or weight that has been pushing up against you has been lovingly pushed off through the power of your
I
awareness.
just got full body chills when you said that.
Yeah,
Mm.
how
Yes, I'm so
beautiful.
happy. Yes. Thank
Oh.
you so much. I might have to do this again. Thank you
The,
very much.
the the replay will be shared. You'll be able to go in deep into the ceremony again. But I encourage you and everybody on the call to dive into the special offer. Chris or April are gonna put the link of the special offer in the chat box. It's right underneath where you're watching the video live or on the replay. And the opportunity to join us because I'll be there for the moon activations and ceremonies. They're profound. And I'd love to be in ceremony with anybody from our community who decides to join. And as we shared the link for the special offer, there's a lot of more comments coming in, and I want to get into it. Deb says highly recommended. We'll get into your comments in a little bit, Deb. But also, if you're interested in facilitating this type of ceremony for others to share with your unique heart essence and vibrational tone of light that expands other people, book a call with Christabel and dive deep and discover just what's available to you and just how generous it is and how impactful it can be for you sharing your gifts
Mm.
in a way that only you truly uniquely can. And when you have the vehicle to do that, the expression of you just it becomes a gift for others to receive. Um, I want to share, and you're probably reading some of the comments. With so many people having so many experiences, Ray, thank you so much. That was an amazing experience. I felt a high vibration along my spine and all my chakra, mostly my sacral, heart, and throat. I felt an intense pressure in my pelvic area. Thank you again. So that comes in from Ray. A lot of people writing in that they're crying, some crying, but in a good way, releasing negative energy. Thank you, Therese. And um, I think it was, yeah, who was it that was sharing that they were just got into deep crying, broke down in tears. Kimmy, hi Kimmy, completely broke down in tears. So that's fairly common for these type of releases and energetic releases and somatic intimacy that comes through. Are they not, Christabel?
Yeah, I'm just also reading these incredible comments here, and it's so beautiful to read. So many of you were crying just with 20 minutes of
Mm.
safety to feel all your feelings with a community. And I'm so moved by the power of tears to open our hearts and restore our perception of to love and love being the truth of who we are and
Mhm.
why we're here. It's so beautiful. And I see here also, Katya, I felt more like my authentic soul self than I've felt for a very long time. I realized that I am, says Kathy, and that is enough. I am enough. Thank you. Just these comments are going on and on.
Oh yeah.
Sonia, oh, someone's here. I released pain through tears from a pattern of self-sabotage. That happens so much, so much. From not believing in her gifts enough and over giving to others, even when depleted. She says, today I 100% choose to commit to my soul journey and I'll be
No,
tuning to you.
exclamation, all caps.
All
Let's
caps. And she's
yes.
coming. I can't wait to be with you, Sonia. Yay.
Amazing. And one came in from Marisol. And Karen, I want to get to you in a second. You're joining us live, so give me just a second. I love what Marisol wrote. I opened up my lungs and tears came when I allowed love in. Right? Wow. Wow. And, this is a 20 some odd minute journey. And how powerful. And again, we're going to run the replay. And I want to honor where you are now, though. Not to get future oriented necessarily, but being really here witnessing each other and elevating each other and the potentiality that is becoming possible because we're opening right here, right now. So it's so beautiful. First of all, I'd love to take Karen's question. Are we open to that right now?
Absolutely. What is Karen's question? I don't see it.
No, Karen's coming in. She's coming on
Oh,
live. Karen,
all
can you
right.
unmute your microphone? Let's see, Karen. Karen, if I can get you to unmute your microphone, I'd love to take your question. Ah, she hung up. So she's feeling lighter, brighter, and so filled with peace and love. Her heart is filled with joy. So I guess she had to hang up.
Oh,
Uh,
beautiful. I want to say Nancy has a great comment. This 72-year-old girl went back to my dancing days of my youth.
wow.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
So,
Yeah,
Chris,
I go ahead,
I
John.
was going to ask you, what excites you about doing this for 12 years and building it and just and teaching it to others to carry it forward?
I love this because it is my path of healing and awakening. And because I have so chronically like forgotten who I am in the
Mhm.
past and had micro betrayals in different ways with myself and forgotten and then when I do the practice I wake up and whatever numbing I've done or distractions I took upon to try to avoid feeling all my feelings, this practice and who it invites me to become as a practitioner in my meditations, in my prayers, in creating a life in congruence with my values for excellence and integrity and just more it invites me to take authorship of my imagination in such a powerful way and it opens my heart to love and honestly that's we all want love. I know I myself have had childhood wounds where I felt like I maybe was unloved, or, maybe had a parent who was incapable of fully expressing love to me. And so I watched that play out, adaptive childhood unmet needs playing out through the years. And this practice, this ecstatic opening, this ecstatic letting go, this going beyond the mind and the pain body and opening to a wider perspective, has created a reconciliation in my own heart. And it continues to, the more I practice and the more I train facilitators, it invites even higher levels of opening my heart. And I haven't always felt like my heart was open. I've often felt, as I mentioned, numb, or like I couldn't fully access the depths of feeling. And this practice just makes it safe to be tender and open and a sensitive being. And it gives a way to use your highly sensitive faculties to open to a higher perception of reality and a higher order of living and serving and creating these psychedelic ceremonies. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Amazing. It's again, your enthusiasm is without question. Amy came in with a great question. She's asking, how often do you do a practice like this?
So it's completely personal how many times you want to breathe. I've gone through different personal cycles. I went through a while where I was doing breath work every day. And then I sort of felt like I hit a saturation point and plateaued. And so I backed off. I did it a couple times a week. Right now, I probably do a breath work about every other week. I'm not, but I'm facilitating a lot of breath work. And when I facilitate, I'm doing breath work. And that's an interesting thing about this practice is we train our facilitators to actually be in an expanded state with breath work while opening that state for others. So it's a pretty exciting edge to be on, to be beyond the surface mind while also in a space of people who are also moving beyond those, that perceptions of their little selves too. Yeah.
Amazing. We have a lot more comments coming in, and I actually want to go into some of them. But we've got Karen back on. Karen, welcome back.
Hi. Hi, John. Hi, Christabel. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm just so happy, and the lightness. I want to thank you for encouraging the lightness and the lightening up. So much of life is heavy and serious, and it's just to get back into the childlike, playful state is so liberating and freeing. And I just can't thank you and both enough for providing
Mm.
this experience. Thank you.
Ah, blessings. Thank you for holding that high field for all of us as well, because we all benefit from your consciousness also. And we hold each other in whatever heaviness may be there as well. We do this together. But again, we're aware of that touch point that we get to breathe into in this circle and activate it to remember to come back home to ourselves.
Yes, I
So
am remembering. I just felt my heart burst open. Yeah, it was a beautiful experience, and I will definitely listen to the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So beautiful, Karen. Yeah, thank you.
I want to honor some of the comments in because they're profound. So Darlene, I expanded among stars, mid-roll, angel scenes. I burst into oneness with bliss. Cries with joy, seeing other galaxies, amazing. Angel feathers everywhere. I feel free and unconditional love for all. Oh my God, Darlene, I want some of that. That's awesome.
Yes, please.
Tina C, such an amazing journey. Never did anything like that. And amazing how that heaviness I had felt feels gone. I've been asking my angel guides to please help me. And I've been going through something similar. I've been asking my guides and not necessarily feeling them in ways that I'm used to. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, Tina, because whenever that feeling of disconnection or maybe even initiation of a new level coming in and that in between isn't familiar, to get back into ourselves, that intimacy can expand the recall and the vibrational tone of what's becoming available. So it's profound. Um, Tina writes, I truly believe this was divine timing to experience this for the first time. and I'll be doing this again. Thank you for sending so much love. I was just saying before the call that I am so mad at myself for giving so much of me, feeling at peace and back on live with me. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Hearts from Josie James. I was sitting in meditation, remembered or was reminded that this was happening. We are running parallel in worlds, or we're running parallel in words and feelings. Nice to be led. For me, also to be led on an experience instead of leading, is it's such a gift. And again, the vibrational tone of the person who's leading really activates new potentials. Tina, I tried breath work once before and just tried for a few minutes and stopped. But this time things were so much different and beautiful. Sanya, I felt numbing in my heart and some PTSD disassociation since the pandemic. And I chose my bodily sovereignty and lost my dream business. However, I'm not a victim. I'm a victor, strong and free with all caps. Beautiful, Sanya. Yes. Uh, Tina, see, amazed that I actually did it for that long of a time. Woohoo, bring it on again, right? Um, and Sonia again, Breath of Bliss is the best breathwork school on the planet. A little fan, amazing, son. Thank you for that.
So beautiful. And I really want to invite everyone to make a little time, once the call is done, make a little time to keep journaling and incubating with whatever has begun to reveal itself. Because when you open the box with an experience like this, a lot more emotions or a lot more realizations may emerge. And it's just super safe to let that all happen. And so definitely, yeah, keep incubating your insights.
Hmm. Well, one final comment before we end tonight. Tara, it was a fantastic experience of play, joy, and breaking through a barrier. Yes, yes, yes. More of that, please. April has put the link of the special offer in the chat box again. Y'all know where to find it. Pete says, thank you, dear family of light and love. Family of light is something that you'll be hearing about when you sign up for the special offer. So know that that's a family of other initiates and people who are going deep into practices in community who are just absolutely amazing. And mentioning family light as we're wrapping up today's call, Christabel, something again that you bring in so beautifully through all this experience is a feeling of community, a feeling of family. And I want to thank you for bridging that for so many of us who feel that there's something activating, but don't necessarily have the language in to relate it to people in our ordinary life, and to bring these experiences together for others who can understand and resonate and hold the space for these profound experiences. It's such a gift. So thank you for the way that you not just guide and teach facilitation, but really the container that you so hold as a foundation of what's possible and the expansion of our light and our awareness into a deepening of ourselves as spiritual practitioners, awakening and receiving more than when we ever thought was possible.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for bringing me to your beautiful community and trusting me to offer an experience of expansion. And I want to thank everyone as well who's been on the call who I haven't maybe met in person. And I really look forward to supporting you in any possible way I can.
Beautiful. Before we end today's call, James had a great question, and I want to bring it into as a nice wrap up. He's asking if you've ever done an integration day to follow up this experience, or what would you suggest for integration?
Yeah, well, the whole first part of our facilitator training is called the self-love journey. And it is 6 weeks of integration with all of our parts. And really, we invite those who come into the monthly breath journeys and who meet me at festivals and other events and podcasts and so forth to give themselves that gift of 6 weeks to integrate, because the things that are arising, they need time. And, emotions have their own speed of revealing and moving, and memories and all of these things. And so it's really beautiful to create an entire incubation container with other like-minded individuals where you can unpack, you know, the depths of what's wanting to be embraced within you through this experience. So yeah, I would invite you to maybe book a call and we could chat about it.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Christabel, amazing as always. Thank you. The music was off the charts amazing. The first song you brought in was so much fun. Oh my God. I was just loving it. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a different experience every time, but profound every time. And so it's consistent yet playful in so many different ways. And you just make it so much fun. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
great having you on, and I can't wait to have you on again.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night. Good night, everybody. I love you guys. Bow to each and every one of you, and namaste. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next call. Bye, everybody.